Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's event. Today, we are going to be having a conversation about the ascension that is coming up in less than 1 week. I can't believe it that after all this time of planning and waiting, finally, we are counting down to the last week, and I could not be more excited and grateful to God. I have a lot of wonderful people that will be joining me on stage soon. These are just some of the voices that you will be hearing from as speakers, as moderators, as anchors in the Ascension on November 22nd and 23rd. So I'm really so excited and I'm pumped up. When you come into the room, whether on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, let me know in the chat, let me know your name, let me shout out to you. I'm going to start by introducing myself, right? So just in case, I like to believe that everybody knows me, but somehow I also like to introduce myself just in case there's someone who is passing by and they've never really come across Scholar Up or come across the Ascension or come across anything that we do. My name is Dr. Emeka Umunnakwe, and I'm the founder and lead coach of Scholar Up Mentoring Academy. And at Scholar Up Mentoring Academy, actually what we are about is empowering people, especially young professionals or people who are just finding their way, either trying to go to grad school in the US or trying to build a personal brand, trying to leverage their personal brand for their career growth or their business growth. So we've been on this journey for a long time. Actually, we have our LinkedIn Elevation program, and we are currently in the 17th cohort. So we've been on it for a while. And now we've been planning the Ascension Scholar Up Global Conference. Actually, the planning of this conference has gone on for maybe 4 to 5 months, if I'm not mistaken, but more intensely in the last 3 months. And we've been supported by a great team and great volunteers from all over the place. And I could not even be more grateful for them, because through the combined effort, through the collaboration, we are able to present this event. So instead of, I won't keep talking, I'm going to bring up all the wonderful members who are some of the voices of the Ascension to join me on stage, and we'll just have a round table conversation, right? So what we are trying to let you know is what you should expect. What should you be expecting come November 22nd and 23rd? So with that said, let me start with Coach Tolu Ekwe, who is a public speaking coach extraordinary. Welcome to the stage, Tolu. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for being here. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for
welcome.
Me. I'm just so amazed that this is like it's
finally happening, right? All right, then I'm bringing Zubedah all the way from Uganda. Zubedah, how is the people of Uganda? Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you want to hear anything about arbitration, you want to hear about peace, Zubedah is your person. Welcome on the stage.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
I hear you. Welcome. And then I'm bringing my Ibironke. My Ibironke just got an award recently. Let me clap for her. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Congratulations on your award, ma. Thank you so much. You know I have clapping. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here today to have this conversation and just to shed a bit more light on what are we even doing? What is this Ascension about, right? Let's talk about it. And then we have Emeka. I should call him ambassador. I shouldn't just say Emeka like that. Emeka is my dear mentor who is making me really, really proud. Emeka, welcome on the stage. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for all the work you do, coordinating the volunteers, all the things you do at Scholar Up. It is well appreciated. Welcome all of you. We will still have Dr. Ellen join us, but she's a bit busy now. So when she comes on board, I'll bring her, and then we can start our conversation proper, right? We can start our conversation proper. So let me look at the chat and see what our friends are saying. We'll see Eniola says, congratulations to my Ibironke. Yes, congratulations to her. And Gift says it's a global conference. Yes. So you're all welcome. So today, I expect us to be here probably an hour or so at most, or 1 hour, 30 minutes, just having a round table conversation, right? So this is like a very relaxed roundtable conversation of just giving people a bit of what they should expect. We've been planning this thing, right? We've been on it forever. We've been talking about the Ascension all over the place. Okay, MJ is here. MJ is here all the way from Germany. MJ, you are welcome to the stage. Thank you for coming. I hope your network is better now. Can I hear you? I don't hear you. Something is wrong. Check your devices. I hear your mouth moving. I can see you, but I don't hear you. So check if something about your connection somewhere. Is it just me, or do you hear? Yeah, I'm not sure. She tried before, but we'll keep going. If she comes again, I'll bring her up and we can get started with the conversation. Okay, so Elizabeth said she is ready. Elizabeth, you are welcome. Thank you so much for being here. So I'm going to start the conversation with Tolu because Tolu, you're the one who is by my side, right? So I'm just going in that direction. And like I said, we're just having a roundtable conversation. You're a public speaking coach, right? And you're really doing a beautiful work. Maybe you would even tell us a bit about the public speaking contest that you're anchoring during the Ascension. So you've been on your public speaking coaching journey, coaching a lot of people. What is the thing you feel separates someone who just speaks and then someone who has the ability to speak and people are moved? What would be that key thing from your journey? What do you think is the thing people should look out for when they really want to be speakers that don't just talk? You want to talk and then your speaking makes a difference.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Great question. As a public speaking coach, I think one of the things, first of all, is being a public speaker. Walking that experience, one of the things you realize is people have a tendency to want to copy other people. You want to sound like someone else. You feel like there are these speakers that you aspire to. You want to speak like them. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it is commendable. But there is a special flavor that each individual has. It can be a part of maybe your walk, your experience, the things you've gone through, what has shaped you. Rather than hide that part, which is what we tend to do so that we can fit in, is bring in that flavor of you. Who are you? It can be your journey, your perspective, because there's that thing that is unique about you. We all share many things, but that thing that is unique about you is what needs to come out. And it comes out in the way you speak, in the tone of what you say, or even just the passion with which you deliver your message. But it's you, adding you to your message is what makes the difference.
Thank you so much for sharing that, right? Yeah, thank you. I think one thing that I picked from what you said is we all have a unique flavor. We all have that magic. That's the way I like to call it, right? I feel like we all have our wonder as people, and it's always important to find what makes you different from the next person, and that's what you want to leverage on. Thank you so much for that answer. I'm going to come back to you with another question, right? But right now, let me go to Zubedah. Zubedah is the next person by my side. Zubedah, you do such wonderful work. Like, you're all over the place. I wonder, how do you keep up with all your events and all your things? I can't keep up. I come and I see something, but I know you. I know where you started your journey, so I can ask you this question with more depth and perspective. What is the one branding mistake that keeps really talented people invisible, even when they have the skills? Because we've seen over time that you can have all the skills in the world, and that skill will not do you any good because you just did not know how to leverage it. You didn't know how to connect to the right audience and the right opportunity. And I feel like you're just the best person to share this from a personal experience.
Thank you so much, Coach Amaka. This is my journey has been so profound, really. Like, people see me, and it's been like a year. Very many people ask me, where did you come from? Like, literally, where did you come from? Like, how come you had all this talent, but no one knew about it? And the problem that the mistake I used to also do, and which is also a trap for many professionals, is we rely on competence alone. You believe that just because I'm good, the people who have the opportunities should be able to find me. So I'm just going to sit in my corner, do the best I can, and hope that an opportunity is going to find me. But it doesn't work that way. And that is one of the things I learned about personal branding. You put yourself out there, and then people now start realizing, oh, by the way, she can do this. She's even good at this. She can write. She can hold events. She can. So basically, you tap into opportunities that, first of all, come with your name written on them. Because by the time people approach you, they have already made up their mind as to why they want to work with you and how they even want to work with you. And also, it kind of like when we live in our competence alone, it even limits your mind. Like, you'll be amazed how many opportunities are there that you've never imagined yourself doing. And yet, when people see your output, they can find a way of placing you in their workspaces, and then opportunities come to you. And I will refer to this week. I'll give an example of this week. I was at a conference, and someone just sent me a message of like, we would like for you to go speak to some Muslim girls. You're doing some good work. And I just said yes, because I had a very, very busy week. Now, after some time, I called and asked, so what, tell me more details about it. And the lady told me she works with the MasterCard Foundation, and they are doing career guidance. And because they're going to a Muslim university, they would like to have someone who looks like those girls there. So I asked, why me? And the person said, we saw a post that you had written that had been posted on the Uganda Law Society platform on Twitter, X.
Oh, wow.
I'm not very active on X, but one post like this made, like, it kind of like got me the opportunity, and it is such a good opportunity. And because of it, I'm also trying to do something with the lawyers. And so I was able to also pitch and told them, by the way, we should partner on this thing that we are doing, since you're targeting young professionals. And they said yes. So the thing about it is that it's such a roller coaster. You just do one thing and then it spans into so many different things. Thank you.
Right. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing from a personal experience. I think you said something profound, which is the mistake a lot of professionals continue to make. I'm talented. I'm skilled. Let me keep working hard. Somehow, in my corner of the universe, my good work would find me, and people would just suddenly see that I'm great at what I do. And so many people lose opportunities because they've just not found the courage to decide to, yes, I do good work, but I'm also going to position my good work so that it attracts the best attention, the right opportunities, and I can be better positioned. So thank you so much for that answer. Let me clap for you. I have to get used to clapping. Thank you. Okay. I know MJ, can you let me know if you hear me now? She says she's not feeling too well and she won't be here for too long, but I need to know, can you speak now? MJ,
yes,
do you hear me?
can you guys hear me now? I had to tune the laptop.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yes, I can hear you, but can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
I apologize.
We can hear you now.
Well,
You hear us?
yeah, she says she's hearing. Do you hear her? I hear her. All right. MJ, let me go to you. I know you have to leave not too long from now. So you talk a lot about education. You have your MGGS or MGSS. Please correct me if I got it wrong, right? I know it's MG something. And you're very big. M what? Tell me.
MGSS.
MGSS. Okay. All right. So in a world where learning is shifting fast, learning is with AI now on track. What was possible even 2 years ago or 3 years ago, what was not possible 2 or 3 years ago is now something that if you don't know now, you've already been left behind. So a lot have changed about learning. The students of this generation, we're probably not the same students we were when we were in college, for example, right? A lot have changed. So what would be that one mindset shift that students would need to have in order to be future ready? Because if you stick with what you've been doing 5 years ago, then of course you won't be able to catch up in this world. You won't be able to adapt. What would be that one mindset shift? How would they move forward to really be future ready for the future of work?
Yeah, thank you for that question. And I would like to apologize once again for my technical issue. So you can hear me very, very well, right? Thank you. So for student, personally, I think the student need to see education, or let me say learning, as a lifelong habit and not just something you do for the sake of maybe getting a degree or maybe just finishing school or passing through school. So if you see education as something that is, or learning as something that can never stop, then you have this curious mind. You want to know more. You want to keep learning. So regardless of what happens, regardless of the new technologies, you're able to evolve, you're able to adapt. And that brings me to adaptability. Adaptability is also very important skill that students should have, because you can learn to evolve. You can use AI. You're not afraid to embrace changes or new technologies. So I would say adaptability, and also a mind, or a curious mind that never stops learning. Thank you.
Okay, adaptability, a curious mind that never stops learning. I believe we have to always be learning. That's the critical thing. If you really want to be ready in this world, if you don't want to be left behind, you have to really, really keep learning. Thank you so much. Thank you for showing up. I know you're not feeling 100%, but you still being here, it means a lot to us. And I'm going to clap for you too, right? That's important. Thank you so much for that wonderful answer. All right, Emeka, I'm going to go to you, right? I like the way our conversations are going from different topics, because we're just giving people a flavor of what they should expect in 2 days. So you're hearing Tolu talk about public speaking. Zubedah is telling you about professional and corporate branding. MJ is talking about education and how you can be ready. And now we are switching gears. Now we're going to switch gears completely. And let's talk about agriculture. I always say that agriculture is everybody's business, even though so many people feel like, what's my own with agriculture? But you want to eat, but you don't want to worry about where the food comes from. I feel like this is a topic that everyone, irrespective of your discipline, irrespective of your background, you should at least know enough to be able to join the conversation. Emeka, agriculture is evolving. It's evolving really, really fast. What role must young Africans play in shaping the future of food security? The future of food security is threatened. So what do you think, you, as an ambassador of agriculture, right? You go and you represent agriculture everywhere. How do other people like you, how do you make sure that we are food secure?
All right. Greetings, everybody. Confirm you can hear me. Am I audible enough? Can you hear me? All right. So that's a very important question there, Dr. Marka, because of the importance of this question, it formed the theme for this year's Africa Food System Summit in Senegal, which, by the way, is the premier conference of agricultural stakeholders in Africa. And the questions that we are asking was, how can young persons lead the charge for food system transformation in Africa? And here you are asking the question again. So for me, and of course, from my perspective as somebody who is leading a movement of young persons in agriculture, is that young persons must step up to the task. I say this because in Africa, Africa has the youngest population in the world. With the average young person in Africa being 19 years old. And of course, with our fast-growing population. So Africa has the potential to feed not just Africa, but the world. You can believe me on this. So for the young persons in Africa with enormous challenges and of course enormous opportunities that goes with those challenges, how we must take charge of our food system or to lead the charge against food insecurity is that we must come to the table. We should not wait to be given a seat at the table, because there's already a seat at the table for young persons to lead the change. Now, I'll give you an example. We are in Senegal, and the Minister of Agriculture of Nigeria was, speaking on several panels. So at every interval, he mentions two Nigerian youths who are doing awesomely well in the agriculture space. Then I sat back to think, these young persons were not initially supported by the government. They had their personal ideas. They launched the ideas, scaled the ideas. All of a sudden, the ideas are now attracting national and international attention. So much so, they have become a bragging name for Nigeria's government across, outside our boundaries. You see that? So
yeah,
that goes to reason that young persons must become co-creators, not by invitation, but by stepping up. You see a problem in your space, you step up, and they start building solutions from the grassroots. Then, everybody in every niche find a problem, build a solution around it, and watch, that solution scale to become a national solution and, of course, a global solution. So young persons are tech inclined, so we can lead the charge in that area, integrating tech and all other technologies into agriculture to make Africa food secure. So I can't say it all. We're gonna say more at the conference. Thank you.
We will say more at the Ascension. Thank you so much, Emeka. That was really beautiful. And I like the point you made about young people should not wait for invitation. I think that is where the challenge is, that people sit back and wait to be invited. They wait to say, oh, somebody should notice me. Instead of you, in fact, you can even create your own table and be the one to invite other people to come and sit. You just need to open your eyes to identify the problems around you. That is exactly how initiatives are bettered. I tell people all the time, Scholar Up came about from me showing up, posting on LinkedIn, and people started asking me questions about grad school, and that's how Scholar Up was born. And then identifying that the people I was trying to get into grad school did not have a lot of courage was what bettered our LinkedIn Elevation program. And it's just a spiral of identifying the problems that you can see around you instead of waiting for someone to say, this is what you need to do. That was such a beautiful, beautiful answer, Emeka. And I like how you said people should wait for the main gist. This is just the teaser. Let me clap for you, Emeka. That's really, really beautiful. Thank you so much for coming here. All right. Let me see what our friends in the chat are saying. We are so happy to have you here. Let us know where you are joining from. You know, I always want us to have a three-way conversation. When you get into the conversation like this, it's easy to forget that there are a lot of people listening and being here. So we see Barbie say it's nice to meet all of us, or is it nice to meet just me? It's nice to meet you too, Barbie. Thank you for being here. Where are you joining us from? Let me know. Nelson says congratulations. I think maybe he's talking to Dr. my Ibironke. And then Professor Roxana is here. She says she's watching from South Carolina. Thank you for being here, Prof. And she says, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you too, Prof. Thank you so much for being here. Esther is clapping. Let us know where you're joining from. Kainde Onibinde is joining from Facebook. I know she's in Lagos right now, but I know Kainde is in Abuja. Thank you, Kainde, for being here. And congratulations on your award too. Kainde got an award yesterday. Congratulations to you. Thank you for being here. All right, let's get back to the conversation, right? We're having such an interesting conversation. Tolu, I'm going to go back to you again, right? I'm going to go back to you. My Ibironke's network is fighting with her for whatever reason. And it's so beautiful that we're having this experience, right? It's so beautiful so that we still have a couple of days to go back and look at, oh, what didn't work with my tech? What did not work? What can I align? What should I make sure is available? So that by the time I'm on the stage spitting fire, I won't have any interruptions, right? I won't have anything interrupting me. Thank you all for being here. I'm having so much fun. Now, Tolu, let me get back to you again. Now, we prepared this Ascension public speaking contest together. It's been a lot of work preparing these young people, trying to get them ready, trying to build them up. And thank you so much. Thank you for the amazing work you did there. That was really wonderful. What quality do you believe cannot be automated? Part of the things we noticed, let me give this as a backstory to my question, is when we got the initial video entry and we said do an impromptu video, but we could tell that some people were reading, right? We could tell that some people were reading their script, no matter how they tried to make it freestyle. And I believe that the more technology we have now, even though it's a good thing, and now I'm speaking for all of us, I'm not trying to put a particular group of people. I think to an extent, the AI and the surge of the tech, it somehow makes us mentally lazy too. That's what I feel. Because, you feel like you can outsource everything. Oh, AI can do it for me. Oh, I can automate it. I can use a teleprompter. I can do everything. So my brain should just shut down. I don't have to, sometimes even to write comments on LinkedIn, you see people use, it's like ChatGPT to ChatGPT. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, right? It's supposed to be your assistant. But I also feel that we have inherent creativity as people. As a public speaking coach, as someone who has worked with a lot of people, what do you think that is impossible to automate or be replaced with this whole surge of technology? What should we, as leaders who want to be ready, as people who want to contribute to solving very important problems, make sure that as much as you're automating everything you're automating, how do you still make sure that you're keeping in check with those things?
Thank you. Thank you. I was hearing some echo. I hope it's okay now. So I think one of the things that we struggle with, this thing you said, is so obvious. It's so glaring with a lot of young people. using ChatGPT to do assignments, using AI to answer questions, to solve problems, you find that it becomes harder. There's a group I'm working with right now that I decided we were going to do impromptu speeches. And if you see the panic, because it's like, no, give us a bit of insight. What kinds of questions are you going to be asking? Why? They want to go and do the background work. They want to go and feed it into AI so that they can get some information, so that they can be more confident when they present themselves. Because, hey, you're asking me to think on my feet. I haven't done that for weeks, for months, you know? So that's the challenge. But you see, they've forgotten something, that they still have a soul. You still have, there's the inner you, there's your sense of that subject, there's your understanding of it, there's your experience of it, there's how you feel about it. You see, ChatGPT can give us facts, it can give us even stories, but it can't give us the experience. It can't give us the empathy, the care, the feeling that you have about the subject matter. So there's that human factor that we have that is beautiful and that we are trying to run away from because we're so busy giving an assistance and giving the assignment of assisting us. But there's you. That's you. That thing, what I said in answering your first question is still the same thing. It's the fact that you're a person. For Ambassador Emeka, he traveled to Senegal. That wasn't ChatGPT. That was his experience. He interfaced with those people. So that's the part that is not something you can give a machine. It can formulate a story for you, but it can't connect the dots, because who you are is not just who you are today. It's a thread, where you came from, your childhood, your experiences through the years, your perception of them, the world as it changes around you. So all of that is still what we infuse in our stories, in our delivery, that makes the difference and that connects with that human factor. I think it's something we should hold dearly to, and we should not lose in a hurry. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for that response. You kind of painted a story, right? Which is that people don't want to think on their feet again. It's like, ChatGPT has all the answer, or some other AI tool. And I think in itself, it becomes a disservice, because you realize that when you are caught off guard, then you're not ready. Somebody just tries to pick your brain. Like, I want to hear from you. You realize everything has been outsourced. And that's not the whole point of technology. Technology should make us better. It shouldn't make us so mentally drained and lazy. I like the way you put it. Thank you so much, Tolu. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that insight. Thank you. That was really, really beautiful. Let's see what our friends in the chat are saying. I see Chinonso said, hi everyone, she's watching from Nigeria. Nigeria is so big. Chinonso, it's you that makes some of Westerners think that Nigeria is small. When you say you're watching from Nigeria, where in Nigeria is 36 states, right? There's a lot of places in Nigeria. So we have Rindak. Rindak is here. She says she's joining from Nigeria too. Same thing I'm talking about, right? At least Esther is telling us she's joining from Mina, Niger State to be precise. I like it, right? So she's glad to be listening to all of the speakers, and she's learning a lot. Well done. Thank you so much, Esther, for being here. We are so happy that you are here. And then we have Kosi, who is also saying she's from Nigeria. Please tell us where in Nigeria. And then we have Blessing. She said she's joining from Edo State. Beautiful, beautiful. And now Kosi says she's in Enugu State. Thank you all for coming. That's so beautiful to know that we are having this conversation, and we have all of you joining us in the conversation, preparing. This is just like a pre-teaser, right? That's why our topic is all over the place, because that's what the conference is about, that we are having professionals from across sectors bringing their ideas, bringing their unique experiences, and then just marrying it together to a power-packed two-day event where you walk away with different insights. And I think this is so beautiful and so unique, because I think as young professionals, one key thing is important to know a little bit of everything. That's what I believe. I believe that no matter what your sector is, like, oh, you're a public speaking coach, you are in agriculture, you are in education, you are Queen of Estate. The Queen of Estate has joined us. Welcome, Tolu. Thank you for being here. I believe that it is so important to still know a little bit about everything. That is the way you'll be able to join important conversations. You shouldn't just be so narrow-minded that once a topic is brought up that is not within your niche, then suddenly you are like a fish that has been brought out of water because you don't even know anything at all about it. All right. I'm going to go to MJ. I know MJ said she is going to leave, so I'm going to ask her like her last question. That way she can, if she wants to leave, she says she's not feeling too great, so I don't want to just keep her longer than it is. So MJ, I want to ask you, what does the ascension mean to you personally? We've been on this journey, right? You were there right from the day this idea was born, and we went through the whole process of getting to this point where we are now counting down to the final week. What does it mean to you personally? What have you learned from this journey? What has changed for you?
Thank you so much for the question. Personally, the ascension to me is about growth, to keep progressing. And when I think about growth, it is not in terms of competing or comparing. It is in terms of being intentional to growing, committing, being committed to making impact. And so far, we've seen that is what the ascension has done so far. We've brought people, we've connected people from different parts of the world. We've brought them together, and now they're going to be impacting others. And I'm grateful to be a part of the Ascension Conference, and I'm really looking forward to this weekend. I hope you guys will be there as well because it's going to be value packed. Sorry about my voice. I have a cold, and I'm sure I'll be better by God's grace before the weekend. And when it comes to ascension, it's also something that reminds me that growth cannot be done alone. We all need to, take each other along. So it's about collaboration, networking. And that's what the beauty of Ascension is all about. It's been about collaborating, networking, meeting different people from different walks of life, getting to learn. For example, this teaser now cuts across different fields: public speaking, agriculture, education. And that's the beauty of the Ascension. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, MJ. Thank you for your commitment to be here despite catching a cold. I'm going to just let you please go have some rest, get some warm tea, get some ginger, feel better, because we need you to be at your 110% during the ascension, right? So please go take a rest. Thank you so much for showing up, even though you're not feeling too great. But thank you for your insights that you've shared. And I really like how you put it, which is there's really no one person that can do what we have done as a group, right? That's why it makes me laugh when someone says I'm the brain behind this thing. It makes me laugh because it's really very funny, because no one brain could have done this. It's bits and pieces of different angle, everybody bringing in their own insights, their own efforts, their own time, and it's really materialized into what we are seeing today and what we are still hoping to unfold on come Saturday, Sunday. So MJ, thank you for being here. I'm going to go back to Zubedah and continue the conversation. I see Tolu's network is rolling. So this is very beautiful, right? It's very beautiful. If you come in here and you see your network is messing up, it's telling you that you need to go and make sure that it doesn't happen on the day of the conference. All right. MJ, thank you so much. Take care. Enjoy yourself. Have a beautiful time recovering, right? Have a beautiful time recovering. So let me go back to you. Okay. Like, bye, MJ. Let's clap for MJ before she goes. It's not easy to come when you are not feeling fine. Thank you so much, MJ. All right. Emeka, you're back to the stage. Okay. So we have to be very, very intentional about our tech. I keep repeating that because everything about what we'll be doing for the space of 2 days is dependent on the technology letting you communicate and letting people hear you and you not being thrown about, right? So that's going to be very helpful. Zubedah, I'm going to come to you before I bring in the rest of the people. You work a lot with Africans, right? You're there in Uganda. You do all this. You do a lot of work. Well done, right? Let me start from there. You are organizing all these events. You're doing all you're from here to here. So how can young Africans build a brand that attracts global opportunity without losing their authenticity? Because that's a big challenge, right? People begin to perform because they want to fit this mold or this expectation that people have of them. oh, this is how I need to act, or I need to change my accent, right? You see the way I talk very, very Nigerian, very robotic. And I'm so proud of it. I've been in the US for 4 years, and I'm very intentional to say, this is the way I sound. What I owe you is clarity. So I'm intentional about being clear, but not to try to sound Western or other ways. But I've seen other people too, like me, who try to fit into the changing the way they sound because they feel that is the way they will be accepted. Like if I change myself a bit, if I tweak myself up a bit, then I'll be more attractive or I'll get more opportunities. What are your thoughts on that? And how do you think that we as Africans can continue to carry on our culture while still leveraging all of those global opportunities without needing to become somebody else?
Thank you so much. And I would like to learn how to clap. It's quite exciting.
Don't worry, you can come for tutorial later.
I'm going to learn how to clap. But
Hold on,
I think
let me clap for you before we start.
That is, we have yes. Okay.
He wants to teach us something.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful question, and I think for me, what has really worked was that I embraced all the unique things that make me me. And Tolu said something about it when it came to public speaking. We all want to be like those successful people, but you cannot be like the original person. For them, they are not trying to be like other people. They are trying to be like themselves. So when you try to imitate them, your thing can never be the same as theirs. Me, I just looked at myself, my background. I'm a lawyer. When I started out, I started working in a court. I'm a Muslim. I am a powerful writer, and those are the things that I tapped into. Then I'm also a creative. I like ideating and then bringing up new things and putting people together so that we can create big ideas, like having to execute big ideas. And that is what has made me stand out, because the next person is going to tell you, for me, I'm very good at drafting court documents and all those things. But for me, I was like, no, that is not what I want my brand to be, because that's not what I enjoy doing. So I just tapped into all the things that make me me. And that is why there cannot be another Zubedah. It is just me, because that whole combination, the flavors that make me me are what make me unique. So my advice would be for everyone, like all those things that God gave you were intentional. They were not by mistake. Embrace all of them so that you can come out with a brand that speaks to who you are and where you want to go. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Zubedah. And hello to your beautiful baby that is crashing the party. Thank you for being here. It's so exciting to have you here. And thank you for that response. That I think at the end of the day, it boils down to being intentional about self-awareness. I think that's the most important thing. Just get to know yourself. You have your strengths, you have your weaknesses, know how to leverage your strengths, and then know how you can leverage your strengths and then continue to work on your weaknesses. You realize that that is the way you can stand out, because the people you are trying to be like, as Zubedah rightly said, they are just being themselves. So by the time you're trying to be like someone else, who is going to be you? Like who will really be you, right? So thank you so much, Zubedah. Thank you for that wonderful insight. I'm going to go to Tolu. That is Tolu, Queen of Estate. You know, you see two Tolu on the stage. So let's be differentiating. Tolu, public speaking coach, is by my side, and then we have Tolu. So Tolu, you've been on this journey with us from the beginning, you know, being part of Scholar Up program, LinkedIn Elevation, and then you came on this journey. I want to ask you, what have you learned in this process? What would you say are some of the key lessons that you've learned in being in this process of preparing for this conference, and what should the audience expect from you come Saturday? What should they? So maybe let me ask it as two different questions. First question, what have this process taught you? What would you say are some of the key lessons that you've taken away from this journey of 4 months, 5 months of just ascension, and finally we're in the final week?
Thank you, Dr. Amaka. Hello, everyone. It's so nice to be here. I can see Mrs. Tolu, I can see Zubedah, I can see Ambassador Emeka. Thank you, guys. It's wow.
I mean, the fact that I made it here this night is even amazing, right? Because I'm someone that I'm still trying to manage my I'm still trying to manage my time. I'm echoing. Can you guys hear me?
I hear you. I hear you. Go ahead. I will mute myself.
Okay. So to the question that you asked, that's like very intentional question because for me, the process of being from being a mentor in scholar up, mentee in scholar up to, becoming one of the speakers, the preparation, the time, the people, like Zubedah mentioned, I think it was MJ that said, the network, the people that we have had to do it together, the meetings and everything. It has taught me audacity, and that it has taught me that there's no boundary. I mean, according to what we are learning, the ascension, right, where boundaries shatter and brilliance awakens. There's no boundary to what we can do as much as we have the audacity to think it, to start it, have the right sets of persons, and you will discover that you can push it. Because to be very honest, at some point my husband will ask me, this conference that you people are you sure this thing is going to happen? I said it's going to happen because there's audacity. The leader of the team, the people in the team are audacious. They know what they are doing. We know we would get through it no matter the challenge. I'm someone that I feel like, I just keep things in the background. I don't like to do any much of show off, unlike the industry that I'm in. But this preparing for this has taught me that, see, blow your horns, do as much as you can, be audacious, grow with the right set of people, move with the right set of people. You will be shocked at the results. I mean, months of meetings, hard work, preparing has finally come to. I'm so happy for Scholar Up. I'm so proud of everyone, and that is what that process has taught me. That boundary can shatter
Thank
even
you.
from your mind. Once you can think
Boundary
it,
can shatter.
have the right people around you, and you're doing it. You're doing it. That's it. That's what it has taught me. So my borders are beginning to shatter. Don't worry. And what they should expect. Okay, so let's pick the second question.
Yeah. No, you can
Expect
hold on.
clarity.
I'll come back to you. Tolu, I'll come
Dr.
back to
Amaka
you on that
already
one.
said, I mean, there's so many
Are you
ambiguity
hearing
around
me?
real estate, around investments, especially in the global stage, right? So now we are going to be breaking it down. I mean, for you to know that wherever you are, you can actually put your money to work for you. You can actually do things beyond where you are. So expect confidence, clarity, audacity. Expect global reach. That is the idea of the ascension. So yeah, I hope I'm being able to answer the question. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tolu. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. That is beautiful. Yeah, the thing that you said that stood out most.
Zubeda is clapping. Thank you.
I was also clapping for you. It's like you're not hearing me. It's like Tolu doesn't hear me. That's what I'm noticing. But it's so wonderful that
I'm so
you.
sorry. I'm so sorry. Thank you, my coach.
You're welcome, Tolu. You talked about audacity, and that is important, right? And she said something about, somebody says, "Is this thing even going to hold?" That's a very valid question for someone to ask, right? For you to be going on, you have adults all over the place. It's so difficult managing adults. People who are busy, professionals in their own right, doing their thing, but being able to kind of bring everybody to the same space and agree on the same vision and move with the same course. Of course, that's something for one to question, is this thing even going to happen? Because it's not something that is easy. But finally, we are doing it. And I like that you made reference to our team. Boundaries can actually shatter, and it starts to shatter in your mind. Before your brilliance will awaken, you have to, whatever boundaries you have in your mind, you have to look at it and say, it's possible. I thought about this thing. I'm just going to put in the work. I would remove any blockade, anything that is blocking my path. I will keep walking until I get it out of my way. Part of what we are doing today is removing that blockade in terms of some of the technical challenges that would want to prevent people from communicating. At least now we are getting some feedback. People can go back to the drawing board and notice, oh, I kept trying to join and I was not able to join, or my camera was not clear enough, or this was that. So you have this as feedback to give you the next 5 or 6 days to more like come back even stronger. So thank you so much. Thank you very much, Tolu. That was really, really wonderful. So Auntie Tolu, I'll come back to you again. Coach Tolu, let's come back. Now we're wrapping up the conversation. We're at 45 minutes, right? Dr. Sumeya is here. I don't know if she's ready. I see her camera is turned off. Dr. Sumeya, you can prompt me when you're ready. If you're ready to, okay. Okay. Dr. Sumeya of the Most High God, welcome. It's so good to have you here. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you for your time. Thank you for always being there. Whenever I say, Dr. Sumeya, come, last minute, she will just come and say, okay, I'm going to try and I'm going to be present. I don't take it for granted at all. I know how busy everybody is, really, right? In this age and time, for people to commit their time and efforts to something, they also have to have clarity on what it means to them, or what that impact means for other people. So welcome on the stage. Thank you for being here. I'm going to jump to you, so you have one question and then we'll do a final wrap, and then everybody can go back to their houses, right? Because I don't want to keep everybody. The ascension is going to be 8 hours on the first day. So that's a long time to commit. And then it's going to be 5 hours on the second day. So today, the pre-ascension event, let's try to keep it short, so that people are not so that people don't stay here for too long. So Dr. Sumeya, what should the audience expect from you? You know, one of the volunteers made a video. I shared the video with Dr. Sumeya, and the volunteer said what he's looking forward to most is Dr. Sumeya's session in the Ascension. That's what he is looking forward to. So I think he's someone in public health, or looking forward to getting into public health. And he said, I'm looking forward to the Ascension because I want to hear Dr. Sumeya's session. I sent it to her. I said, Dr. Sumeya, you have fans, so this is your fans. So you better get ready. And she said the pressure was getting worse. What should people be expecting from you? People are making videos to say, that's why I want to come to the Ascension, to come and hear Dr. Sumeya. Can you give us a teaser of what they should be expecting from your session, what they will be taking away with them?
Okay, I think that was really humbling when I saw it. And actually, it was like, it rose the whole anticipation and all that. But honestly, I think what I hope the audience will get is a real human being. the real me, not maybe the LinkedIn Dr. Sumeya and all that. No, just I want people to know Sumeya as Sumeya and as a real human being. And I'm coming to talk about my lived experiences, my challenges, my doubts, and my growth. So it's not going to be like a TED talk or anything. I'm hoping that we can have honest conversations about how to lead, especially as women, in spaces that were not built for us. So I'm hoping to share some lived experiences. Though I'm still young, I'm still figuring it out. So when I talk about lived experiences, it's not like I have 3 decades. It's not like 4 decades and above experiences. So we're talking about 3 decades. And so I want people in the audience to feel seen, to feel, okay, I'm not the only one navigating this. And
right.
Honestly, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, all right. So that's the teaser, right? And I like how you said you don't want people to see the polished version that is easy for all of us to portray on LinkedIn. And with this age of AI picture, all of us are wearing suits. Hey, all of us will wear sharp suits and come and be looking like we don't have any problems. But at the end of the day, there is always the struggle. There are the scars. There are those things that behind the scenes that maybe nobody knows, and you're navigating it. And it's important for people to understand that whatever you're going through is hardly unique to you. That's one thing I've come to realize, that whatever you're going through, part of the things that have carried me through monumental challenges in my life, the mindset shift that has kept me going, is to believe that whatever struggle I'm going through, it can be 10 times worse. For whatever reason, that's my mantra. So when something is happening now, I'll begin to think about other ways it could have been worse. So that helps me to find gratitude. It helps me to say, for example, oh, I came to the US and I had cancer. So I can reframe it and say, oh, thank God I was in the US when I had cancer. Cancer is bad, but at least I was in the US and I had access to all these wonderful healthcare that I probably would not have had access to in Nigeria. So those kind of mindset shifts kind of helps us to move past very difficult challenges that so many of us go through in different shapes and forms. So that was such a wonderful, wonderful answer. As we begin to wind down, we're getting close to the first hour now. I want you to think about it, Tolu. I'm going to start with you to tell me, what does the ascension mean to you personally? You've been so involved, different ways. You've contributed your time, your efforts, financially, dragging you, Tolu, let's do this, let's do that. You've been on this course. Why? What does it mean to you? Why are you even doing this, right? Now, that's a question that everybody have to answer for themselves. Why do I believe this cause? Why did I commit to it? Why do I keep showing up anytime I'm called to come and do something? What does it mean to you as a person?
Oh, great question. Dr. Amaka, this question is a very personal one for me, because, so let me give you a bit of my background, right? I'm a pharmacist by training. About 2 years ago, I chose to kind of, not fully, but kind of pivot, in the sense that I realized that public speaking was something that was very useful to me. It helped me in dealing with, among other things, grief. So the story is long, the backstory is long, but basically, having lost my mother 2 days after having my second baby, it was like this, you just kind of have to shut down the grief and move on. And I moved on and started just trying to live. I had a toddler, I had a newborn baby, and I was just trying to just keep moving, just make life make sense. It was 10 years in before I started looking at the grief side and asking questions like, who found my mom dead? Where? How? All of that. Long story short, unraveling the whole grief experience, one of the things that really helped me was public speaking. And I came to this point where you're starting to grow. Imagine after putting in like 2 decades plus in one career, and now you're trying to build something in another career. It's like, it takes a lot of courage. There are voices that are constantly telling you, you know what, just leave this thing and go back to what you're used to, and all that. So it takes being, if you don't stay near the fire, so to speak, you just die out. The small fire that you have will just die out, and you just go back to what you're used to and keep
true.
So for me, what this is watching someone build. I've watched you do this, in the cycles of the LinkedIn Elevation program and all of that. I've watched different people on LinkedIn do different things. But for me, this was about setting an audacious goal, going for it, building something that seems like out of the air, out of scratch, and watching it actually happen. So alongside with this going on, in my own space, I'm working with some university students now, we have a program coming up. Again, big audacious goal, because it was something I had never done before. I'm like, okay, let me reach out to university students. Let's get this thing going. And this is happening alongside. So for me, it's like, okay, every time we face an obstacle with the ascension and we overcome it, it tells me in my head that, okay, you know what, when you face your own obstacles in your own space, you will overcome them as well. And so far, that has been experience, truly, because when you set big, audacious goals like that, you will face obstacles. It's guaranteed. You will face challenges. And rather than run away, if you run away, you will never know what you could have achieved. So I'm seeing this firsthand. I'm experiencing it firsthand again. Not that I haven't experienced it before, but seeing it again firsthand and seeing this on the virtual space. This is crazy. Like, working with people that face to face and building teams and making it happen. It just shows that, look, anything is possible if you set your mind to it. So yeah.
Tolu, impossible is nothing, right? Impossible is nothing. Let me clap for you. That is the truth, and I like how you describe the experience of the ascension for you. When you set audacious goals, definitely you would just expect the challenges. I think when you expect it, it makes it easier to deal with it when it happens, right? So it doesn't throw you off balance because, like you mentioned, we're doing this in the virtual space and almost all of us have actually met ourselves in person. I'm lucky that I know Chinasa, and Chinasa is my friend and I've met her in person. But for almost the rest of the people, it's just connecting virtually and somehow building this bond and building this friendship and building this trust. And anything, 1,000 things can go wrong, right? 1,001 things can go wrong when you set goals like that. But when you refuse to give up, which is what I would say we have done, right? We've refused to, despite whatever the challenges, it's like ahead, we keep moving forward. So thank you so much. Thank you very much for that response. Chinasa, Pharmacy Chinasa Ufondu, welcome. How was
Thank you.
I know you were having a busy day. So we are kind of wrapping up the conversation. We are like in the last 15, 20 minutes of the conversation. But I know you are big on public speaking and you are really big on communicating complex things. You know, Chinasa does breast cancer research. That's not everyday conversation, right? And how do you communicate that to a lay audience and you just communicate it and it resonates with them and it resonates globally, that someone who has no business with what you're saying is able to grasp it and is meaningful to them? So I'm just kind of asking you like a teaser of what people should expect from you come the Ascension. Chinasa will be giving the keynote. So
Okay. So I would answer your question directly and then talk about what I am hoping to achieve with the Ascension. So I think as someone that does breast cancer research, when I find myself in rooms that I have to communicate that, the key thing I lean towards is simplicity. I think over the years, I've learned that big grammar doesn't necessarily have the best of effects, right? And each time I enter a room, what I ask myself is, what do I want these people to take away from what I'm saying? I think growing up, we would think that, oh, wow, if I speak all the big English, then people will think I'm smart. But the older you get, the more you realize that having people think you're smart doesn't solve problems, right? And so that has been the focus of my growth as a science communicator, which is whichever room I enter, just scan the audience and know where they are and then try to meet them at that level. And I think to jump into your question about the Ascension, I heard Dr. Sumaya just talking about, wanting people to just meet the face behind the brand, right? In the real sense of it. And I think that that's part of what the Ascension means to me, having people from different parts of the globe assemble and trying to ascend into this next level, right? I think as a speaker, I want that to be an opportunity to have people that maybe they've been scared, like they have the voice, but they just have never utilized the opportunity to speak out. I hope that by sharing some of my stories in public speaking, by sharing some details of how that journey has been for me, that even if one single person leaves that conference thinking, wow, I should speak up more, wow, I can speak up more, I think my goal would have been achieved. It's just all about being a source of light to other people and letting them just take on that light from us.
It's just about being a source of light. I love it. I really, really, really love it. Chinasa, thank you very much. And you're very correct, right? It's always about leveraging the different opportunities and being willing to put out the gifts that God has given you into the world. I believe that's very important. I feel like all of us are uniquely gifted differently. Like we are so gifted in so many different ways. So it's very important that we are intentional and we have the courage to just say, yeah, despite whatever limitations I may have, I'm just going to move forward. And so, Dr. Sumaya, I'm going to come to you as we wrap up the conversation. But before then, let's see what our friends in the chat are saying. We have Ikenna. Ikenna volunteers with us, and he's always checking all the IT stuff. So he's giving me thumbs up. Thank you, Ikenna. Thank you for being on Facebook and making sure that our tech is working correctly. I see you, and I appreciate the work that you do. My Ibironke says it's good to see Dr. Sumaya. Always, always, always good to see Dr. Sumaya. Right. And then Esther is reiterating. She says, anything is possible. Anything is possible. That's what I believe, right? That's how delusional my father made me. So these days, when something comes to my mind, I just feel like I just have to keep figuring it out, and eventually it's going to happen. And Verena is here, the health evangelist, all the way from Germany. Thank you so much for being here, Verena. It's good to have you. Come and see Verena. Verena is going to be telling us a lot on the day of the Ascension. Thank you so much. Everybody was not able to join this session, which of course is to be expected, right? People are doing so much, but then just a little bit of what you're hearing from the different topics, that should help you know what to expect. Dr. Ellen says she's here. I hope she's in the right link. I don't see her. But before I bring up Dr. Ellen, Zubedah is also back. Dr. Sumaya, what does the Ascension mean to you personally? What does it mean to you?
I think that's a very interesting question, but then just a disclaimer. I think I loved how everyone loves public speaking. And Chinasa loves public speaking, Coach Tolu. I do not like speaking. I tend to, so I think of the Ascension, right? I don't look at it as using the traditional sense, like with career or promotion. So for me, I think about it as rising inward. So like me stepping into my voice, even when it's shaking. So even when I'm not feeling ready, it's okay for me to say yes to rooms that make me nervous, because deep down, maybe you feel you deserve to be there, you can be there, and then you're willing to grow into those spaces, even if it's out of your comfort zone. I really do not like public speaking. I just show up because I look at it as a way for me to grow. And then when you're also ascending, I feel ascension shouldn't be lonely, because what's the point of climbing to the top of the mountain and you're alone? So I want, I think the ascension, especially the conference, has taught me the ability to expand, to bring other people, and the impact that can make, because when you're rising alone, there is a form of survival. You're in survival mode. But then when you bring different people, you see that you're forming a legacy. That's what I see this conference is growing into. And I think it's a form of leaving my comfort zone and being owning my voice, even though I'm like an unfinished, I'm still growing, but learning to do that in the best way I can. So
thank you so much, Dr. Smith. Thank you. Now, I love the vulnerability and the honesty. That's the truth. Yeah, maybe some of us like to talk on one hand. I wake up and I will talk for 5 hours. That's fine. Some people don't, and we all have different personalities, and it's okay. But it's also okay to speak up even when your voice is shaky. It's important to realize the importance of certain skills to building your career or building your life. And it's not enough to say, oh, I'm this kind of person. Oh, I'm an introvert. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm an introvert. I don't like people. I don't like talking. And then it becomes a disservice to you. So I like how you define the ascension being an inward ascension for you. So it's not even about what's happening on the outside. It's just about you challenging yourself to say, I can. And then you see yourself doing it. And one other point that you laid out that was very critical, it's about being lonely at the top. You know, the way they sang there, lonely at the top. It's not a good thing. It's really not a good thing. But going on the journey with people of like minds, it helps you to move away from survival mode to being in the mode where you feel like this, my challenge is unique to me. And then somebody else opens up to you and say, this is what I'm going through. And then your own challenge looks small in the face of what they've shared. And you realize that you are not just so absorbed in your own problems, that you can now move through that shared journey. So thank you for that perspective. Dr. Sheris, thank you for joining us. Thank you very, very much. I'm so happy that you are here. Right, I'm going to ask you one question, and then I have a final question for Zubedah, and then we can have a final word. Right? You're an immigrant medical doctor in the UK, right? You're an immigrant. You're in the UK. You've had what is the personal experiences that have really shaped you as a barrier breaker, whether in leadership or in healthcare? What are those challenges that you've had to overcome? You write a lot, right? I've read some of the things you've shared. So now I want to know, what are some of those pivotal moments in your journey where it's like, I'm going to give up on these things, but you don't, and you keep moving forward because you know what you're going after.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Amaka. Thank you. And thank you, everyone on the platform or on the podium with me. Yeah, so being an immigrant medical doctor, you know, it's not a bed of roses. We used to think it's a bed of roses. Oh, I'm going to write the exams, I'm going to leave, and you know, I'm going to leave my country behind or my place of practice behind and evolve into an international medical doctor. It's not that easy, but you have to have the audacity to survive. You have to have that audacity. You have to tell yourself, no matter what it is, I'm going to make it, because there are a lot of challenges. So the challenges are not just, you know, it's a multifaceted kind of challenges. You are worried about leaving your family behind. You know, you are now getting integrated into a new system that you have no idea of what their culture is, you know, what their language is, what their belief system is, what their food type is, and also what their etiquette in medical practice is. It's a whole new ball game. And when you now try to surmount that, you now realize that there is other problems, even right within the medical setting, that you yourself is used to. So you are used to setting a line or cannula for people in certain ways. Then you are faced with a new technology. You know, the cannulas are shaped backward and sideways. Yours was shaped this way and that way. And it all becomes a struggle for you. One thing I know you need is your confidence.
Your network. Is it just me? I don't hear Dr. Ellen again.
Just about the new culture or the culture shift for me, you know, which was one problem I had, but I had to surmount of workplace adaptation. You know, I struggled with the accent. I struggled with trying to understand the new technologies I'm seeing, you know, around. But one thing that stood out for me was building a community around.
We don't hear you again, Dr. Ellen. Dr. Ellen's network is ceasing. Okay. All right. So we're going to move forward. So this is good feedback, and thank you, Dr. Ellen, for sharing those personal stories. And I think from what I got from what you said is we just need the audacity to keep moving forward as immigrants, right? Chinasa too is here in the US. Dr. Ellen is in the UK. I'm here in the US. There are struggles that if you've not been on that journey, then you don't understand it. If you've not been in that part where you're separated from family and you feel like the whole world is coming crashing down on you, or you truly feel like you don't belong, you feel like this is not for me, the only thing that keeps you going, as Dr. Ellen was saying, is having the belief that you belong, and then building a community around what you're doing. I think that helps a lot. Sometimes just having somebody to go talk to say, hey, I'm overwhelmed, this is what's happening, I think it makes all the difference. So as we begin to wrap up our conversation today, right, I didn't want to keep people for too long. I feel like this has been really beautiful. Dr. Ellen is back. Dr. Ellen, you were thrown out by the network.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry, that's not how UK network normally behave. I'm sitting in the wrong side of the house.
So. Okay, please sit on the right side on the day of the Ascension.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry about it.
Yeah, no, go ahead and wrap up your thoughts and so that we can just
so I was saying that all those challenges are challenges that are a little bit away from the workspace are easy to manage. Now, the ones that are difficult to manage are the ones you meet in your work environment. You know, you've got patients that you are seeing, they've got an accent just as you do, but a different kind of accent, and you need to understand them. You know, they've got the type of diseases that you are not used to. You need to understand those kind of diseases. They've got a treatment plan, they've got different packages to make life easy for you, even as a doctor, not to make mistake, which are normally not the kind of things we meet back home, because you are expected to crack your brain and bring out everything you need. While in more developed country, you have different pathways that are just there on the system. It doesn't make your brain redundant. It just makes the work easy. Now, even as an immigrant, we struggle with it. You don't want to check the pathways. You are struggling to bring out things from your head. But one thing that really helped me was forming a community at my workspace. I'm not that doctor that believes, or that person that believes that you shouldn't make friends in a workplace. I'm not. And that really helped me, because I asked a lot of questions, and somewhere behind my mind, I just told myself, do not ask anyone question more than once. If you ask the second time, do not ask the third time. That's not because if I need to ask the third time, I wouldn't, but it makes me to be very attentive and intentional about what I'm learning. So moving into UK as a medical doctor, as an IMG, was it challenging? Yes, it was challenging, but I was bent on giving the best. So it was easy for me to blend, because bending on giving the best means you know your loopholes, you know your weaknesses, you look for strength, you look for community around you that will support you. So for anyone who really wants to embark on this journey, you have to learn to associate with people. You have to learn to ask questions, and ask sensible questions, and tell yourself it doesn't make you less of a doctor when you ask. It just makes you a better person. And those were my go-to moments.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ellen. Thank you. That's very beautiful, right? And I like how you framed it. I'll try my best not to ask a question twice. So that becomes a personal challenge. It's like, I'm going to try my best to be attentive, so that of course, it's okay to ask questions, but by the time you make yourself, you go and ask today, tomorrow you ask the same thing, the third time, that's how you begin to receive insults that you don't want, right? So it's good to ask, but be attentive to learn and to execute the things you're learning. And then I also like something that you said, which is, I made up my mind to give my best. So everything begins and ends in the mind. It's like, when I came to the US, and during those first times when things would get hard, there's one thing I tell myself: I don't come. Yeah, we don't come be that now. Like, we have, there's no going back at this time, right? I've arrived. So it means I have to do whatever it takes to figure it out, whatever it takes to survive, whatever it takes to thrive. That is what I'm going to do, because giving up is not an option. No, give up so that what will happen. So that's not an option. So I like that kind of mindset shift that kind of keeps you. And I really like how you address the workplace, because as immigrants, I feel that is where we have our most struggle, is the workplace, usually, because everything is so different. Even as a PhD student where you're working part-time, there's all these expectations of things that you've never seen. Maybe Chinasa can speak a bit to that, right? There are things you've never seen, and suddenly people expect that you know it. Like, you should know it. After all, you have a master's degree, or you have this shiny degree that you're coming with. And that expectation is there, and it's up to you to buckle yourself up and learn as fast as you can. So thank you, Dr. Ellen. We're wrapping down our conversation. So I'm just going to ask Zubedah her final thoughts, right? The Ascension is around the corner. What does it mean to you personally? What should people be expecting from your session come November 22nd and 23rd? What is the final word you want to leave with the audience so that we can wind down?
Thank you very much. Now, my experience has been that when I tapped into the other things that were not technical, legal expertise, my career started thriving in a different way. And when we were organizing, my organization partners with the Uganda Law Society on many things. And when we were organizing the Young Lawyers Symposium, something so profound just hit me, because so many young lawyers were saying they are depressed, because we spend a lot of time, I think we're like doctors and pharmacists, we spend a lot of time in school, And the expectation is that when you get out, you're going to get a particular sort of results. You're going to have money, you're going to drive a car, you're going to get a job that looks, all the expectations that we have as young people going through school. And when you get out, you realize that, first of all, everyone else, I have like 1 trillion people who have the same degree as I do. And the jobs are not coming in. The ones that are coming in pay very little. And so you either have to work in that place or you like stay unemployed, which is also difficult. So we have to address many of these things because many of the people in the legal space concentrate on the technical competences and ignore the things that move the needle. Public speaking, interacting, how you interact with other people, your creative mind, tapping into writing, thought leadership, things that would make you stand out and different so that you can attract more opportunities. So for me, the ascension, especially, is for me to call out more lawyers. Because when you come from my sort of background, and I think also most of the traditional professions, you're not allowed to advertise. So even being on LinkedIn is, why are you putting yourself out there? Isn't it against the law? And yet, the market is telling you, we are not rewarding people who are hiding. If we don't know your competencies, we are not rewarding you. Sure. So my call really, I hope that we can pull out as many professionals as possible to let them tap into their talents. And also for those who lack these interpersonal skills that are really moving the needle for all of us, they should be able to polish them and be able to thrive. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Zubedah. Thank you. I think you said something that's kind of resonated very well in my mind. As a Nigerian, I worked in a law firm in another life. That's something I've never talked about in a long time.
Really?
It just comes to me. I did. I worked in a law firm for like 2 years. I worked as a secretary before I went to the university. And honest to God truth, a lot of the lawyers I connected with were depressed for the very reasons you shared. Now I'm talking about from the Nigerian aspect. So you go to school and you spend 5, 6, 7 years, add all the strikes to get this shiny law degree. No, you even come out and go to law school again, right? So it's not just going to school to study law, but then you come out and you have to go to law school for like a year or two. I don't know. And then you come out and you realize that the job is paying you 20,000, 50,000. And that is what is available. Like really, I was in the law firm for a while. That is what it is. And all of these expectations are on you. It's enough to lead to depression. And I like how you put it that even though they are telling you don't advertise yourself, the market is telling you, I'm not going to reward you if I don't know what you're about. So it's up to you as a person to find that fine balance of figuring out how you can stand out uniquely to tap into those opportunities that are limited. So thank you so much for sharing that perspective. Before I ask for your final words, Chinasa, we have a lot of our friends in the chat. I don't like to ignore them. I like them to know that we are also listening to them. Prince said, just about being a light that shines on the path of many. Thank you for the reminder. So he is responding to Chinasa's talk about being the light. And then Esther is also responding to that. She said, big grammar doesn't have an effect. Simplicity is key to communicate your message better. Scanning to know where your audience is and speak to them at that level is just about being a source of light. And again, she is thanking Pharmacy Chinasa for giving her that rema, right? For opening her eyes. Michael, happy Sunday to you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here. And then Esther said, you have to have audacity to survive, regardless of what you face. Confidence is needed. And she says, thank you to Dr. Ellen. This is how you attend live sessions. You gather quotes. You know that you are learning. Esther, you are such a wonderful person. These are the people I coach. When you see them acting like this. You don't need to be told. They just know how to take it back and bring it back. And then Michael says, thanks for the audacity, Dr. Ellen. Then the other breakdown from you, Amaka. Okay, you're welcome, Michael. Thank you so much for being here and contributing to the conversation. We also have Prince says, don't ask questions beyond the third time. You must be intentional to prove that you are a good listener. Thank you, Dr. Ellen, for pitching this. Okay, good. You see that our audience are actually taking what we are saying. And then Michael says, Now I know the years it takes to be a lawyer and doctor. It is a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to do those things. And he says, thank you to Zubedah. All right. This is so wonderful for us to have this conversation. It's almost also like a practice session, right? So that the people who struggled to come in today, the people who struggled with their network, you have like 5 days to figure out what was going wrong. So this makes me so excited. I really want to thank you all for the time. And then Chinasa, as a way of final thoughts, what should people expect? I know you touched on that. What does the ascension mean to you? You touched on that. So just wrap it up in terms of what is the one technique of public speaking you want to leave young, vibrant people like Esther, who is here and soaking it all in as a final wrap up of your conversation.
What's the technique of public speaking?
What is one technique a young person who is trying to really push themselves? What is one simple technique that you can say, start doing this from today and you would improve? And then you can just give your final thoughts.
I would say, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak again, Dr. Amaka. I would say, prepare. I think people underestimate the power of preparation. And I think that that's one thing I've learned over the years, that even the best experts at whatever it is that doesn't come prepared would most likely not give as much, would most likely not perform as much as he or she would have if they had come prepared, right? And it's interesting that Dr. Sumaya was also talking about how she, like, public speaking is not something she would go after. It's just a way of pushing yourself. I think that was beautiful to hear, because you realize that even by showing up, that's a way of keeping yourself, like, you keep tapping into that resource when you show up. So I think that one thing people should leave here and eventually leave the ascension with is show up in those rooms that challenge you. Keep doing it. This is not the cliche, keep showing up, keep doing it. But as cliche as it sounds, those are actually the principles of life. You can't stay in I'm Igbo, and then Igbo people say you can't stay at home and know what happens in the market, right? So show up, come to the ascension, come into the room that has smarter people so that you level up, right? So that's what I have to say. Come prepared, keep pushing yourself beyond those limits, and address that in your speaking as well, and you will see the results with time.
Thank you. Yeah, I like it. You can't be at home and know what's happening in the market. My father says that a lot. You just reminded me. And that is so true. And as cliche as certain things are, that everybody's repeating it and you say everybody's motivational speaker, that is truly the way of life. You become a master of anything by repeating it so much. There's really no magic way of becoming a great speaker, a great singer, a great anything. It's just the number of reps, is the amount of hours, the amount of time. And then you spoke about something that is key, which is preparation. How long do you spend committing to this craft, in making it better, in making yourself show up, and then you are that person that you're proud of? Dr. Ellen, you have my last final question, which is just, what does the ascension mean to you personally? What should people be expecting from you come Saturday, Sunday for your sessions? What have you learned on this journey? So what would you be? Just teaser. Just give us the teaser. Don't go too deep. Leave some for the ascension. But just give us perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, to be honest, the ascension means everything to me. Is my opportunity to evolve. You know, it's my opportunity to show myself, working together with other people who are like-minded and even way better than myself, because I count myself privileged to be among each and every one of you know, sitting here. I'm not the one that finished with first class. Of course, you guys know what I'm saying, all the first class, you know. But
let me clap for you, Dr. Ellen, so that you can see about first class.
Yes, but yeah, so ascension means for me evolution. It means for me coming together, networking, and evolving into the better form of myself. Of course, we're going to have a lot of talks. It's not just all about medicine and how you should take care of yourself and things to look out for a better well-being, or talking about the girl child and how she should have audacity, if I'm to use that word again, you know, the audacity to live, to progress, to become a woman and a voice on the stage, is also an opportunity for me to listen to what each and every one of you and other speakers have to say, and soak all those things up, imbibe them, and evolve into a better version of myself. So it's not all about speaking. It's also that I have a lot to learn, you know, from each and every one of us that are seated here. So I would just advise or indulge everyone that is listening to us that don't just scroll through the names of the people and think that there is something that is, maybe these names are not familiar to you, or these topics are not familiar. That's even the more reason why you should listen to what each and every one of us and other speakers have to say, so that you become the best version of you. Greatness starts somewhere, and for me, it starts now. I've always looked for an opportunity to speak in gatherings and all, and I think this is it. So I'm taking the bull by the horn, and I'm unstoppable.
You're taking the bull by the horn and you are unstoppable. I like the spirit. That is just it. It's about just get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think that is growth. That's, for me, that's how I define growth. I define growth as just have that willingness. Yeah, I'm not comfortable, yes, but I'm still going to keep doing it. Oh yes, I'm shy. Oh yes, I'm anxious. My voice is shaking. I don't know how to talk. My accent is Ibotic. This is like this and that is like that. But I'm still going to show up and do it anyway. Oh, people will say she's showing herself too much. Yes, that's the answer. Yes. I think that's the mindset, right? It's the mindset that keeps us evolving. It's the mindset that keeps us from the people who talk about the grandiose things they want to do, but never do them. And the people who look at it and say, I have all these limitations. I don't have a studio. I'm sitting in a simple chair in my house, facing my laptop. I have all of the reasons to say, this is too much of a tax to take on. A lot of things can go wrong. Am I anxious? Believe you me, I am. Am I scared that on the day of the ascension, everybody's network will suddenly not work? That's a possibility. But am I going to keep doing it even if it goes wrong? Yes, I will, because I know that it is in that process of iteration that we get better. It's not by waiting until everything aligns in our stars, or like all our stars align in our sky. So thank you very much, wonderful ladies, for joining me in this conversation. Thank you to all the people that joined in. My Ibironke was here. Her network kicked her out. Now she has received feedback. Dr. Sumeya was here. MJ was here. I can't even remember everybody that came in at different times. So all the wonderful people who came in today for like this prep session and just to talk a little bit about what we have coming in less than 1 week. Like, we're really counting down. And to all our audience, thank you for staying and chatting back to us. If you've not signed up for the Ascension, you should. Come November 22nd, this event is going to start 3 a.m. my time, 3 a.m. Pacific time. So part of the prayer point is that I don't sleep and wake up by 5 o'clock. So I don't sleep and wake up by 5 o'clock and everybody is waiting to ascend and me, I'm descending. God forbid. That will not be my portion, right? So it's going to run for 8 hours on Saturday and 5 hours on Sunday. So it's a lot of time commitment. It's 29 speakers from all over the place. God helping us, we are going to have a smooth event. There'll be a lot of learning. And I think the most important thing is that we are going to have our AI and tech business speech on Sunday, and then the public speaking contest is on Saturday. Of course, if you did not, a lot of people signed up. Eventually, we had to get it down to 7 finalists. If you signed up and you didn't make it to the finalists, if I were you, I want to make sure I'm there to see why were these people selected and I was not. Right? So it's all a learning journey. When you keep putting yourself in spaces like that, you continue to grow. We are hoping that this is just the beginning, right? This is the Ascension Scholar of Global Conference 2025. It won't be the last one. This is the first one. And God helping us, we would even come up with bigger initiatives, better ideas, bolder moves that would continue to make a huge difference. So let me see what my Ibironke is saying in the chat. She says Saturday and Sunday will be loaded. Tell everyone to tell everyone. No sector is left out. I think I could not have ended this on a better note. Thank you so much. Thank you, my Ibironke. And please make sure. And she said she loved the new clapping. Yes, I love it too. Let me clap for you. Oh yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you very, very much. I'm going to be ending the live stream right now. And then, of course, I will be setting up our event today for the whole event. And just to give this as initial information to the people who are here, we are going to be breaking the stream on both days. So we'll break the stream 8 hours, 4 hours each, because LinkedIn only allows 4 hours of streaming. So we'll have 2 links for day 1, 2 links for day 2. And I'll set up all those events once we are done with these events. And of course, we'll send out all of this information to those that registered. So if you've not registered, you want to register so that you just get the information. You won't come and be looking, trying to search on LinkedIn to see where is it happening, which of the stream is still going. We'll be able to send you all those reminders. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for sticking with us. God bless you. I'm going to end the stream right now. Bye, everyone.